The Mobile County Public School System presents Homeroom with Nancy Pierce.
Hello and welcome to Homeroom. I'm Nancy Pierce, Public Relations Supervisor for the Mobile County Public School System. So glad to have you join us today. We have a wonderful show. Two very special guests from BC Rain, and they're here to talk about their wonderful academy, Aviation Academy. So I don't want to keep going because they have so much to tell us. I have Christy July, and she is the Academy Specialist, and then I have Don Jones, and he is one of the fabulous teachers. Good to have you both with me.
Thank you.
This is exciting. Are you? How has this year gone?
It has been a wonderful year. Our enrollment has increased in our Aviation and Aerospace Academy. We currently have 110 students, sophomore through seniors, and
Wonderful.
They have been engaged in hands-on experiences with our business partners such as SD Aerospace, Airbus, the Alabama Aviation College. So they're gaining a lot of experience and having a wonderful opportunity provided to them.
Oh, I think it's great. When did this particular academy begin? Was it this year or last year? I mean, it's been going on for more than just this year.
Yes, ma'am. We're actually in our third year of implementation.
Third year,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
When you started, do you remember how many students you had? Remember how many were in there?
Roughly about 40.
Oh my gosh, so you have really grown.
Yes, ma'am.
What can you credit that to? Why do you think you have so many more students?
Well, we've got a good program, and we've got students that are looking for something such as this to get into. So it's an opportunity that they realize that they can benefit from. So they've gotten into it, I think, because of that.
And probably word of mouth from the students too. You know, the students can really talk to each other about, man, this is the greatest class, this is the greatest program, and I think that helps a lot too.
Yes.
But so let's talk about Aviation and Aeronautics Academy. So not all your students at BC Rain are in it. Some students are in other things.
Yes, ma'am. We actually offer 3 academies.
Okay.
Our signature is Aviation and Aerospace. We also offer Communication and Arts for students that are interested in the animation side of advertising, and Information Technology for more of the marketing side.
I just can't imagine being a student now and having that choice. You know,
Yes.
did either one of you have anything like this when you were going to school?
I wish I would have saved a lot of college dollars if I would have.
You mean you changed majors a few
I
times?
did.
Oh, me too.
I did.
Me
Yeah, I
too. How
did.
about you? Did you always know you were going to be a teacher, or no?
No, I spent 20 years, I went to the United States Military Academy.
Oh, okay.
And spent 20 years in the Army. And of course, my father was a math teacher. I had my dad as a teacher for 3 years in high school.
That can be tough.
So, so then I taught at West Point for 3 years while I was in service. And then once I got out, I started teaching math, and I've been doing that for 26 years now.
So do you teach math at BC Rain, or you're in
No.
the aviation?
I taught math until I came over to BC Rain
Okay.
to teach in the aerospace program. So now there's a lot of math involved in it, because we're basically trying to, on the side of the program that I teach, we are trying to teach the scientific part of it. You know, why do airplanes fly? What can you do to change the shape of the wings, of the tails, the stabilizers, and all that? So we've got a program that's designed to lead students into an aerospace engineering program in college, and that's the part that I teach. And then, of course, the other part is the kind of what I call the career side, where you're coming straight out of high school and you're going into a program like Ozark Enterprise teaches over at Brooklyn. So they've got some sheet metal experience, they've got some riveting experience, things like that, so they can come straight out of high school and go into a program and be working on airplanes in about 2 years. And that's so it's a two-phase or a two-track program, so to speak.
I cannot understand how anyone wouldn't be interested in this. You know, if they're in aeronautics and aviation, if they have that kind of desire. Have you found any students that weren't quite sure, but they really, once they got on the program, they were really gung-ho?
Yes, we have quite a few students in both pathways, the aviation and the aerospace pathway. They did not necessarily know what they wanted to do. And so they just became a part of the academy just to see what it had to provide them, what there was for them. And now they are our leaders, they're our team leaders, they are our speakers. We put them out in the public eye to let them know, let people know what the program has done for them.
Sure. Now, and the children, the students are not just in these subjects, they still have their core subjects.
Yes, correct.
'Cause that's really
These
important.
are basically elective courses that they take. And
Do they have to take a certain amount each semester? or-
They're required to take 3 elective courses, so you take an elective course each year
Okay.
of your 10th through 12th grade year.
Can they take more?
Oh, yes,
Oh, okay.
you can.
Okay.
But that's so that our students are still able to participate in other interests, such as band, chorus, dance, things of that nature. We want our students to be well-rounded, so we don't want to limit their opportunities. So we offer 3 required courses, but we have additional electives within aerospace and aviation that the students are able to take.
What are your required courses?
Well, for aerospace,
Well, we basically have 3 courses. It's aerospace engineering, advanced aerospace engineering, and then something they call advanced astronautics, which
What's that?
basically that gets a little bit into the 3-dimensional study that happens when you're talking about satellites and travel in space.
Ooh.
You know, so you got your 3-dimensional type situation there. We're studying, for instance, now, you know, my 3rd-year students, my juniors, are working on a project which basically they have to select a satellite, a type of satellite. They have to determine what type of orbit they're going to put it into, and then we've got to determine where they're going to launch it from, because see, different launch sites give you different characteristics.
How are they doing?
They're getting into it. I mean, you know, it's a field that they've never looked at before. Like, you know, most people, you know, satellites, you know, we know they're up there,
Sure.
but you talk about geostationary orbit. How does a communication satellite sit up there right above you all day long? And basically it's because it's got a 24-hour orbit period, and it's up there at about, you know, 38,000 kilometers above the Earth, so it orbits at the same rate that the Earth is turning, so it's sitting right there,
Oh my gosh,
right above the same spot.
that's amazing.
yes.
And I feel so ignorant on stuff like that. It's like, you know, I know satellite, I know orbit, and there's some great programs on television about all of this. But do you have more of the younger kids, or more of the? I guess you'd have more seniors, huh?
Well, not right now. It's more of the younger group,
Yes,
because
okay.
see, this is, you know, we've been going for 3 years, but this is the 2nd year that we've been teaching the program. So we've got some seniors. We've got about 20-something juniors, because those are the ones that've been in the program 2 years now. But the sophomore class, we've got about 40-something. So the sophomores are the biggest group right now.
Do you have a cutoff? Will you have a cutoff maybe for next year or the year after?
It would be nice to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because that shows growth.
Sure.
And hopefully we can get there, have that cut off. But right now, no, we are still accepting students and recruiting at this point. So,
And you don't have to be in the BC Rain district zone, or do you?
you do not.
Okay.
Applications are due April 1st to central office. Any 8th grader can apply to our Signature Academy or any other Signature Academy within the school. And once your application is accepted, you can then attend the school with transportation provided by the school system.
Oh, wow. You
Yes.
can't beat that.
Yes.
Can parents fill out that application online, or do they need to come to the school?
They can print it offline.
Okay.
There are some forms the students need to have completed by teachers and counselors, and then just mailed or faxed back to the school system.
Particular grade level that they have, or grade point that they have to get in to the academy?
There is not a particular grade point to get into the academy. However, we do have expectations while you are in the academy.
I would hope so.
Our students in the aerospace pathway must maintain at least a 3.0 or B average in all classes.
Okay.
They are expected to take math up to calculus. as well as your AP science classes, so physics, chemistry, things of that nature.
Oh, this is
as
a
well.
good time to take a break because I'm exhausted already thinking about this. But we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. So you stay put, and I'll see you in just a minute. Don't go away.
It started for me when I went into the first grade, and then I went on to George Hall Elementary School, and from there to Williamson, where I graduated. The public school system, it had a great impact on me because not only did it prepare me academically for my future career, but it also prepared me for life. Because of its diversity of students and teachers, it really gave me a well-rounded education.
So, Nicholas, how was your day at school today?
It was great. We had fun in class today.
So, what did you do differently today at school? I mean, anything, any new projects?
We got a progress report today.
You got your progress reports today? So, how did you do?
Don't know.
You don't know. That's okay. We can check that right here. Wow. Nicholas.
So this is my computer.
This is your computer. Let's go on the internet.
Let's go. Click it.
Yes.
Okay.
I cursor in between the R and the E. Pressing dot, I want you to just push the period.
She's gonna love me all over again now.
That's it. Jamaica, here you come.
Here we go.
Good job.
Alright. Thank you. Thank you. And I did it by myself. Feel smarter.
Fabulous academy at BC Rain High School. Wonderful experience for children that want to get into aviation and aeronautics. That's why we have our two guests here today. We have the academy specialist, and we also have one of the teachers. So welcome back again. What is your role?
Well, I have a two-part role.
Okay.
My first role is to work with our students to provide them with the opportunities needed for them to be successful once they graduate from BC Rain. So providing them with internship opportunities, job shadowing opportunities, and to also work with them on their essential skills, the things that are not in textbooks that colleges and employers are looking for. So being punctual, providing your best work, staying focused, being able to work with the team. So that's my first role. And the other role is
Your
for me
second
to—
hat.
Yes, that I switch. Is to work with our business partners and to develop those relationships with them so that they can provide us with the information that we need so that our courses are actually teaching the students what they need to know in order to be successful within those fields. They come on campus quite regularly as guest speakers. They work with our students on projects. So my job is to constantly foster that relationship so that we have the best experience for both the business as well as our students.
Definitely. Well, you talked about internships.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of them where do they go?
Well, we are able to do job shadowing opportunities with companies such as ST Aerospace, and we're working on something with Airbus. We have, since it's aviation and aerospace, you have to be very careful because there are FAA laws and regulations that you have to adhere to. So we try to provide the students as many opportunities within those regulations as possible.
Sure. Now this sounds like a really stupid question, but what's the difference between what is aviation and aerospace? You've got two words there.
Yes.
I think the main difference is, you know, when you talk aviation as we see it, you're talking about the hands-on, the maintenance, the repair, engine repair, sheet metal repair, avionics, which are all of your instruments and things like that. So you're thinking about that, whereas you're thinking about aerospace, you're thinking about the theory side of it, the engineering side of it, so that you're talking about not so much maintaining what you have now as figuring out how to make it better.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, if you look at the Boeing, you know, the Boeing company, they just created their 777. If you go look at how they did that, they were looking at the albatross, which the bird, and they were trying to model their plane after that bird. And you can kind of see when you look at the wing shape, it bends back similar to what that bird's wing bends back. So that's, you know, that's the aerospace side of it, kind of the theory versus the hands-on.
Can the students do one or the other, or do they have to combine the two?
They're able to select a pathway.
They can.
Either aviation or aerospace, yes.
And we also have, like, we've got one student in particular, I know he was in the kind of the aerospace program, and he was talking to me, and I was asking him, I said, well, you know, what do you really want to do? And he said, I want to work on the airplane. So I said, well, we need to shift you over. So
Sure.
we shift him over to the other program so that he can get into what he really wants to do.
Will any of the students be able to just get out of BC Rand and get a job? Or will they still have to have maybe a couple years?
You will have to have a few years of training. A year and a half, 2 years will allow you to be able to get an AMP license to be able to work at ST Aerospace, Continental Motors, Airbus. It's not as much training, that's more of the aviation side. But if you're looking to go into the engineering side, a 4-year degree is required.
okay.
So we also have relationships with Tuskegee University and Auburn, since they're the 2 schools within the state that have aerospace engineering.
I can't imagine just being in school right now and having these opportunities.
Yes.
It must be so exciting for the teachers, for everybody on the staff, and for the student. I mean, everybody. It's such a win-win situation.
Yes.
So tell me, give me an example of, I'm a student in one of your classes, and you've got a plane, and how could I become involved with the plane? What do your students do? What do the students do with that big old airplane?
Well, our aviation students will take it apart, clean it up, fix it up, put it back together, see if they can get it to work. And we'll have engines as well that they'll do the same with. Now on the aerospace side, you mentioned the birds.
Right.
And
See, what we do, like right now, we had a plane that was donated to us this past summer that was kind of in pieces, basically. So I took my students out one day while we were out flying kites, you know, because flying kites, you have the theory of why they fly. And we walked past the airplane, and you've got the wing sitting here so you can see the spars on the wing, and you can see how the wing is put together. Now, the project that my students are doing right now, they're going to have to design an airplane wing. So they have to figure out, because we're going to put this wing between 2 supports, and we're going to see how much weight it will hold.
Right.
So they're talking about how does that wing get put together. So when we go over to ST Aerospace, I tell them, look up there and see how that wing is put together. So they can understand, you know, what allows that wing to hold the weight of that airplane.
What does?
Without bending it. And it's some basically, you've got some lateral structures here, and then you've got your spars going vertically across the wing. So you got the torsional support this way, and you've got the structural support sideways, which is kind of a truss-like system. You know, a truss is designed to hold a whole lot of weight without having a whole lot of weight, you know. You don't have a solid piece there. You've got little members, but they're triangular in shape, so that the force won't break it down. So you've got lightweight, but heavy carrying capacity.
And our students also design the wings after birds as well. We bring in the Alabama Environmental Center, and they bring us a few types of birds. They are able to analyze the bird wings, and from there design their wings, just as the Boeing engineers do.
How long would it take them? Is this an all-semester thing?
No, each course has got 6 projects, and if you look at how, see, the course was designed, SREB, which is Southern Regional Education Board, came together with the State Department of Education in Alabama and, of course, Tuskegee and Auburn University, and they said, okay, we've got a lot of aviation industry in the state, so we need to design a course that will help people prepare for those industries. So they got together and they said, okay, here are the topics that students need to be familiar with, like Kepler's law and things like that, so that when they come to college and study aerospace engineering, they're ahead of the game. So they decided all these things, and then a group got together, and every summer we get together and we put together 6 projects for each course. So there are 24 projects total, 4 courses.
Wow. Hold that thought. We're taking another break, so hold that thought. We'll be right back. So you stay with us too. We've got much more.
I transferred to Viger High School halfway through my sophomore year, and the curriculum there, the instructors, teachers, the whole thing was just a shock to me. At Viger, you were encouraged to critically think, and so I was just well-grounded to move on into college football and then on into the NFL. Well, for me, Viger High School was the start. It's where I started, and I'm very proud of that.
Nationwide, an average of 24 children die each year.
And another 17,000 are injured in bus-related accidents.
Many of these can be prevented. The safety of our children comes first.
For the safety of our future, obey all traffic laws related to school bus safety.
Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Director of Transportation for the Mobile County Public School System. We're asking you to obey all bus safety laws. It could save a life. Remember, stop ahead when you see red. Our future depends on it.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back to Homeroom. It's so exciting this year with our signature academies. And one that we're talking about today is at BC Rain with Aviation Aeronautics. And joining me again today are Christy July and Don Jones. Christy is the academic specialist and Don is one of the teachers. And we were talking about, you get together every summer to come up with projects. And so every year, do you have different projects? Are you going to have different ones, or will you repeat?
No, it's every summer, the teachers from across the state, and there are about 6 different schools that are teaching this program now. So we get together and we look at what we've done, like course 1. Okay, we've got 6 projects. Do we need to make any changes to those projects? Like, for instance, last summer we were looking at course 3, and there was a project that required us to do some research in the atmosphere with a rocket. And of course, we were looking at that and trying to figure out how we could do that. And in the process of figuring that out, we said, well, instead of using rockets, we can use helium-filled balloons because we've got a little bit more stability there, and we can handle that. So Ms. July here was out finding me some helium so we could put it in our balloons. But we make changes like that. Basically, the structure is pretty stable, but it's a new program, so we're basically just trying to say, okay, how can we do what's required a little bit better, or maybe a little bit more efficiently?
So do you have one more project for this year for the kids, or do they have more than that?
No, well, since we just started our 4th quarter, we've got basically 3 more projects for each course.
What are they?
Well, the sophomores, we're going to do, like I say, we're designing the airplane wings. So they're building a bridge right now out of file folders. It's kind of a West Point bridge building contest that came about. And then we'll test the bridges to see how much it holds. The biggest thing is they've got a set of instructions, and we're trying to teach them how to follow the instructions. You read the instruction, because when you get into the aviation field, a lot of the things are in the manuals, and you've got to be able to read the manuals and understand what it says and go do it. So I'm giving them a chance to read something here. It says do this, and they follow the instructions to do it without much input from myself, because that's a skill that they've got to be able to master. And then after that, we're going to do something with, we've got a ballistic projectile launcher. We've got little wooden balls that we shoot out of a PVC launcher. And they're going to talk about the theory, the projectile motion theory, which is your parabolic shaped trajectory. So we're going to say, okay, if this is your initial velocity and this is your angle of launch, how far is your projectile going to go? And then you go out there and say, okay, theoretically it's going to do this, actually it does this, and then you sit there and talk about why are the theoretical and the actual not the same. So that's kind of the thought process we're trying to get them to look at.
You really sound like you're talking about college. And not high school.
But that's our goal,
Right.
to prepare you for college so that you feel successful when you walk across the stage at graduation. You have that confidence that you'll be successful in any program.
Do you have students that when they got in this, they were nervous? That, you know, they thought, oh, it's got a lot of math, it's got a lot of science, and you know, you're talking physics and chemistry and a lot of things that maybe kids wouldn't have taken before. But they don't seem to be scared. They want to do this, so they kind of jump in.
And we do have a very strong support system for our students. So we offer the math assistance, the science assistance. Mr. Jones participates with that as well. So they have people within the school to make sure that they are able to be successful. So they don't feel alone. There's no need to be scared.
And the other thing, when you put something in practical terms, like this Airbus project at Airbus, you know, I mean, the projects we've got were contrived, so to speak, to fill a requirement. But Airbus comes over here and gives them a project that is a real world project, then it doesn't seem like, oh, I'm doing math or I'm doing science or something like that. It's I'm doing something that is required to make something better. So they see the reason for it. And that, if we can give them that, the more we can give them the actual application of what they're doing, the easier it is for them to understand why they're doing it.
Oh, definitely. And students, when we were students, I know when I was a student, a lot of times I had no idea why I was doing what I was doing. The courses I was taking, why did I need to remember any of this? Why did I need to learn any of this? And so that seems like that is a big push nowadays, is you've got to understand why. What is the relevance, or why bother?
Yes. And that's why we bring in a lot of our business partners, so they can explain to the students and help support why we are teaching what we're teaching.
How excited are these business partners when this all started and the more it grows?
We have great business partners. They are awesome. They are very excited. They want to come and speak with our students. They want to have them tour their facilities. They want parents to come with the students. They are very motivated and passionate to have our students involved with their company, to see what aviation and aerospace involves. So we couldn't do what we do without them. They are a major part of what we do.
What about parents? How do they feel? What kind of comments are either one of you getting from parents?
Oh, parents love the program. Some of them ask me, so can I do it?
I said that before.
Well, not from BC Ring, yes. Or they want to fly our simulator, or participate with the wind tunnel, things of that nature.
The simulator is really a cool thing, huh?
It is. And basically, you know, we've got the capability now to set the student down, and they can, it's as close to flying as you can get without actually flying. So they can see what happens. And one of the main reasons for having a simulator is, if I pull back on the yoke or on the wheel, I want the student to know what's happening to the plane, right? So we can set it to where they can visualize the flight from outside the plane. So when that yoke comes back, they can see the elevator going up, or when they turn it this way, they can see this aileron going this way and this one going this way. So they got an understanding of why the plane is doing what it's doing.
How important. And you know what, we're out of time. I'm so sad because we have so much more to talk about. I've got to come out and visit. I haven't been there since all this has really taken place. But congratulations.
Thank you.
And keep growing. I know you will. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And thank you for listening and for watching to Homeroom. We've had a great time. I hope you learned about a lot. I know I have. We'll see you next time.